Hello and welcome to Ditch Witch Diaries. If you like us, like and save and subscribe to this channel. Oh, I see, I remembered. Okay, we are starting with our first herb of Mars or plant of Mars, and Raven is just going to take it away and she's going to tell us all about it.
Yes, black peppercorn. Okay, so Latin name is Piper nigrum. Nigrum. There you go. The folk names, the only one that I really found was Piper, and then just like black pepper and black peppercorn, which I didn't list because those are the obvious names.
That's the same thing.
Yes. So I didn't really find any other folk names for it. Parts used are just the fruit. It's the berry essentially. Oh, are you looking for?
Yeah, I want to see because this one has a ton of folk names.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
So I don't know if like it goes by pepper though, because I was gonna. You never know if it's black pepper. Let's see.
Yeah, you never know if it's gonna be like pepper, black
nope,
pepper.
You're right. Nothing. Black pepper, piper, white pepper. That's it. Yeah.
Nice.
Nothing. All right.
Yeah.
It's just pepper.
It's just pepper or piper. Piper.
Pepper or piper.
Gives a whole new meaning to people named Piper, right?
There you go.
Little peppers.
Peppery little pipers.
Exact little piper peppers.
So there's not a ton of like folklore really on black pepper. It's mostly been used for flavoring agents. So it's native to India. It is the world's most traded spice, even currently to this day. It is one of the most common spices added to cuisines, right after salt mostly. And the like spiciness that you get from it is due to this chemical compound piperine, which is different from the like chili pepper spiciness, but same kind of component of adding the spice, is just a different type of spice. Now, black pepper is produced from the unripe drupes of the pepper plant, so like the fruit of the pepper plant. So they pick them when they're unripened. Then typically the way that it's prepared is these unripe fruits are then cooked in hot water to clean and then like prepare them. And then the hot water also helps like rupture the cell walls, which helps browning them. And then they're dried typically in the sun or by a machine for several days up to a week, or like a week and a half. And then the skin kind of gets all wrinkly and old man-like, as we see with a lot of dried fruits and stuff. And that's how we get black peppers. So black peppers are just the unripened fruit.
Not know that.
Yeah. I didn't
and there they are.
There they are.
They look like little raisins.
So there's been a term that's been used, I guess, for a very long time. I haven't heard of it, but called peppercorn rent, which is when, like, if you want to give a gift to somebody, but it's kind of like proper etiquette that they give you something back, or if it's like in some type of agreement that they need to pay you for the gift or something, then they would give you a peppercorn, like one little peppercorn, because it's meant to, like, you know, the person who is giving the gift and receiving the peppercorn is not meant to like benefit them in some way. It's just as a symbol of completing the transaction. So that's peppercorn rent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like it.
Yeah, me too. So in Egypt, black peppercorns were found stuffed in Ramses II. And they were placed there as some part of the mummification ritual. We don't really know exactly why they were using the black peppercorn, or especially why it was up the nose, other than it has been found to be beneficial to like clear the nasal airways. But we don't know why him specifically and not most other mummies. And then pepper appears in the Buddhist Samanapala Sutta, which is basically like this book, this like holy book for Buddhist monks. And black pepper was allowed to be carried as one of their medicines. They're very specific medicines that they're allowed to use as Buddhist monks, and black pepper is one of them. They can also use long pepper, which is separate, related, but separate. And that the long pepper was actually stronger, so they usually prefer to use the long pepper, but they would also use the black pepper. And it was used to help cure illnesses like constipation, insomnia, oral abscesses, sunburn, toothaches, a lot of things with the mouth. Also, some Middle Eastern parts, like the Arabs, controlled the black pepper spice, and they wanted to increase the price because it wasn't very profitable at first. So it said that they created this myth, and the myth was that the pepper trees were guarded by big serpents, and the only way that they could harvest the peppercorn was to burn the tree to get rid of the snakes. And then while the tree was like inflamed, getting rid of the snakes, it would torch the peppercorns. And it said that that's like how they got their black peppercorn color. So they said, we have to charge more because it's a pretty extreme process. And it worked. The price of black peppercorn skyrocketed, and it became almost as expensive as gold.
Oh.
Yeah. Something else I didn't say that I feel we should mention. Black peppercorns were also used in the spice trade, which we have talked about very often. I'm not going to go super into it anymore, but we know that the spice trade was not a good thing. It was a lot of like skin and body, and people were traded in this trade. So just something to be mindful that that's a big part of the history. We've talked about this a lot in a lot of our other videos. And so black peppercorn, from what I've found, isn't really used as like money with magic. We'll get to the magical properties in a second, but like cinnamon often is associated with money. I haven't found that with pepper, but just keep that in mind. It's always good to know like the history of the herbs.
Clove.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so you had like go 2 slides back. Sorry, I'm gonna force you to, because I like, okay, so no, one more back, sorry. Okay, yeah, so this though takes like a totally different, like when I read that, I'm like, that gives different magical qualities than what we're used to using in peppercorn. Like as like a bartering tool, or like even like as like a token for something that's like a gift received. It's like definitely something different than usually how we see magic. So I just wanted to note that that's a very interesting use, and I like it.
Yeah, true. I like that too. It's a good point. Very good point. I also just really like that picture. I don't know why.
Me too. I'm really into that picture as well.
Okay. So medicinal stuff, not a lot of medicinal stuff. Aromatic, obviously, a strong scent. Stimulant, carminative, and some people note it as a febrifuge. It's said that it works really well with the mucous membrane. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's the mucous membrane, but especially the mucous membrane of the anus.
Oh.
I don't know what recoup. I don't know what I was doing there. But so it works in like the nasal membranes, but also, as always, we're not doctors, we're not physicians. This is just what I know. But mucous membrane, which is tied to the mummification that we talked about earlier, but especially the mucous membranes allegedly of like the rectum. And so it's said that it's really good for constipation. I haven't used it as that, but that's what I found. A couple of places talked about that. They also said that it's good for what do they call, like a prolapsed anus, I think is what they call it.
Oh,
yeah. It's also said that it's good for a gargle, especially if you have paralysis of the tongue. I don't know what would cause paralysis of the tongue, but it said that the like stimulant and the spice quality of it is supposed to help with the paralysis. It's good for digestion, and it's good for flatulence and nausea. So overall, really good to use like with or after food. Hence why they started using it as like a culinary herb.
Paralysis of the tongue seems extreme. Like, have you ever heard of anybody with paralysis of the tongue?
I have not. I don't know what.
I have
Some
not.
poisons.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Poisons, maybe. Yeah.
Some
I don't know.
poison. So yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I was just wondering when you
Keep
might
that in
see
mind.
such a thing.
Yeah, I
if
don't
you
know.
have if you have a numb tongue.
Yeah, and at first, when I first started reading it, I thought that they were talking about using it as a numbing agent, like if you have a sore throat, like one of the herbs we talked about earlier, but it's not. It seems like to be good if there is already paralysis.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So some magical associations. Planet Mars, obviously. Chakra is the solar plexus, which is kind of like our energy powerhouse. Element fire, and sign Scorpio. Scorpio is the only one that I really saw for it, but I kind of like it. Scorpio tail.
Peppery little scorpion.
Yeah, so really good for you, Rebecca.
Exactly. I know. I should get into black peppercorn right now.
You should.
Mars
Black
and
peppercorn's
Scorpio.
great. I love black peppercorn.
Yeah, me too.
I think it would be really good for you too.
Okay, good. You're having some UPG about me. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know how I am.
All the time. That's like how that's
All
I
the
swear.
time.
I think when people have issues, all I have to do if I don't have an immediate like, oh, you should like use this herb or that herb, like I just sit on it for a little bit and then like it will come to me. Oh, like this is like I'll get like an intuitive sense like about anyway. Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm glad you have intuition because I will go with your intuition.
Okay.
I trust your intuition.
Great. I hope that's warranted.
Well, it could be bad. It's black pepper. I'll just start adding pepper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Run it around.
Exactly.
So mostly used for protection in instances of jealousy, negativity, when you need strength, when you need confidence, or to stop gossip. So black peppercorns are really good for like protection sachets, protection bottles, amulets. I mostly use black pepper. I do use it for protection. I use it in a powder form and I use it as like a home powder protection. So I found somewhere it said that they mix black peppercorns with paprika and chili powder to protect their home.
Ooh.
My personal like little recipe is black pepper, black salt, mugwort, cayenne, and then something like spider wet, like an old like cobweb or like blackberry thorns or something. And then I mix them all in a mortar and pestle and then sprinkle it in the four corners of my home for protection.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Didn't you do that in our apartment? And
I did.
You did. I know because there was a little like sprinkle of it like up on my shower top, like up like at the very top. I used to always look at it and go, there it
is. Yeah, I'm not like necessarily big on a lot of protection work. I don't necessarily think that me personally, I don't really think that I need a lot of general protection.
Yeah. I'm not in danger personally, but
yeah, but I'll do like a home protection or I don't know. I don't do workings for like protection against psychic attacks or anything like that, but I do protections for sure.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah,
I do that mirror spell that I have. Remember that?
That's right.
Like, so that's kind of for psychic, but it's not really. I don't know if mirror spells are a little bit protective, but they're more like fuck you energy. Like
they're a little more. No, mirrors are gnarly.
Yeah, I love them.
But they're gnarly. Like they're not protection. They're not nice.
No, they're like
they're gnarly. They're great.
I love them.
They're amazing. I love them.
What else? Oh, inner strength. I kind of mentioned this, but inner strength, anytime that you, especially if you're working with other things with Mars, if you need some type of like courage or inner strength, I mean, peppercorn already has the Mars energy, but especially if you bring in like other Mars herbs or anything else associated with Mars, it's going to give you that kind of like lion quality almost.
Which is interesting. So would it be associated with the strength card in tarot? Because you said lion and strength at the same time.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially so.
I think so.
That sounds legitimate.
I also found that somewhere said if you have a visitor at your house and you don't want them to return, once they leave, throw like black pepper mixed with salt after them. So like they're walking down your driveway and you like throw them.
Oh my gosh, that sounds great.
And it's
I actually have a friend whose in-laws are visiting her today. They are leaving tomorrow morning, and I am going to pass this information along.
Yes, black pepper.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Throw it at them as they leave. Just be all, you know.
Get out your like pepper shaker. You're like grinding it
into their hair. Always sprinkle pepper in your hair, you know.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah, and then you can use it in your food. We kind of have talked previously a lot about like little magical things you can do, and so just putting pepper, like black pepper, in your food with the intention, right? Everything is all about intention. That's what magic is, about intention. And so if you put black pepper in your food with the intention of like protection or to bring some type of like fire or energy or protection, or I don't know, getting rid of negativity or whatever, that could work as well. And I think that's it.
Awesome.
Blessings and magic.
Okay. Thank you so much. I love learning about black peppercorn, and I feel like I learned so much. That was a really awesome presentation. It was very good. Thank you. And thank you for joining us, and we will see you at the next Ditch Witch Diary.